Hey Homestead family, we got some rain last night. I didn't know it was coming and I never heard it when I was sleeping, but I woke up to seeing things had been floated around, the grass cuttings had been floated around in the yard, so that tells me that we got a good rain last night, which is something that we needed. And it's almost this time of year here in Florida where we begin to get our afternoon showers, which is great for the garden and great for our water conservation. So we don't have to water the garden every day, but we're going to be pulling some things out today, but first we've got to feed the chickens. These are the two girls that we graduated a couple of weeks ago. We brought them out here and put them in this crate. One of the ways we found that is an easier way to acclimate them to the rest of the flock is to put them in the same yard with them, but they're protected from the crate while the rest of the chickens get used to them. Doesn't mean they're not still mean to them. There has to be a pecking order, and that just has to be established. But it seems to be working pretty well because these guys have been out in the yard for the last day or so, and which is a good thing because we have 4 more Easter eggers that need to come out of the garage and make their next transition to the crate. We recently realized that our Spanish blue slate that we have right here, Browning, we were hoping that Browning was going to be a hen, but obviously by that gobble she is not a she, she's a he. So we have 2 male turkeys now, and interesting. I really would like to get a female to be able to breed them, but we won't be doing any of that anytime soon. And this is a problem. Just notice this. I hope nobody's been hurt, but we've got a breach in our pen enclosure, so we're gonna have to work on that today. It's actually misting rain as I speak. So I hope I can get this done today so you can see what's going on in the garden right now. We've got tomatoes, and I am really having a time trying to keep up with them. So a lot of them are just getting tossed in the freezer right now for later on. We've put up quite a bit of spaghetti sauce. We've put up salsa. We've put up dill pickles, and we've put up bread and butter pickles. Our next adventure is going to be some pickle relish, and that'll be pretty much all of our cucumbers being used, and we are at the end of the life of the cucumber plant. So there's our tomatoes. There's a nice red one down there. I need to come out here and tie some of these things up because they are bending over and getting heavy, top heavy. Our Jet Stars, these are some really nice tomatoes, you guys. If you guys are looking for some good, they're not giant tomatoes like beefsteaks, and they're not the Romas, but they are just a good basic, probably the tomato you see in the produce section at the garden, in the grocery store. And then I was just commenting to Mr. Homestead yesterday. Now I hesitate to make this comment because I don't want to be proven wrong. but we have not found any hornworms on our tomatoes this year so far. And let's see, we planted these in May. No, we planted these in April, like the end of April. So we've had probably 6 weeks. These tomato plants have been, that doesn't sound right. It's probably been more like 8 weeks of tomatoes being in the garden, and we haven't had any hornworms yet. And I believe it's because we companion planted these onions on the outside. All the way around the bed we planted these yellow Spanish onions, and they are coming along nicely, hoping that we will be able to harvest them really soon. So there you have it. The cucumbers are done, and that's okay. They've given us abundantly, and like I said, we've put up a lot of things. So we're going to be pulling these out this weekend, and purple hull peas have already been seeded in peat pots. And so once we pull this out and kind of amend the soil a little bit, that's what will be coming in this spot. Look, there is a sweet ladybug. I love seeing those in the garden. I wanted to show you guys, I got the Gerber daisies. The Gerber daisies and the marigolds are just doing so well. One thing that I do with these, both of these, the Gerber daisies and with the marigolds, and if you notice, I don't have any marigolds blooming here, but see these little pieces here and here? What I do is when I get a flower that has bloomed and died, I don't see any because I picked them all off yesterday off of these. Let's see if I have any over here. Yeah, so something that has bloomed, and let's see if I can pull this one off. So I pull them off and I just kind of separate it, let's see, like this, and then I just drop it back down into the pot, and I get, because I do that, all these, that's from dropping the dead flowers back into the pot, it's reproducing. And I only planted like 3 marigolds in this pot, and it is just almost completely full now. So a lot of insects and garden pests do not like the stinkiness, the scent of the marigolds, and so they tend to stay away when these are out and about. So I've kind of placed it center of my garden. The Gerber daisies are not like a deterrent for insects. They're just pretty and I just like them. So that's why I put those in there. You guys, look at these peppers. If you watched any of my previous videos, you know how long I have waited for these peppers to start changing colors, and they finally have, and I'm so tickled about them. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick one and I'm gonna eat one because I can't wait any longer. Oh my goodness, those are so sweet. So good. Delicious. Sweet gypsy peppers is what this is. It's time to pick some of these jalapenos as well. We use these for our salsa when we canned our salsa. And wow, it really added flavor to it without adding the heat to it. I'm excited about it. And our banana peppers are needing to be harvested as well. And I'll have to come back out here later on today and pick and just really get some of these peppers out of the garden. So I feel like I've neglected the garden lately. It's not been cared for as meticulously as I usually do. I see some squash down there that need to be picked. I need to come in and take some of these, clip some of these dead leaves off of the squash plant. The reason being is because the plant is putting energy into even these dead leaves, so I need to give it some relief by getting rid of these, because we're not into the leaf growing business anyway, we're into the squash growing business. So that will help give the plant the ability to put more of its energy into the actual fruit than wasting its time on bad leaves. And look at these gorgeous blooms on the loofah gourd vine. That's really, really pretty. So we did get rain last night, because look at the water. The water beaded up on the watermelons. And I'm sure they're thankful to get that. So I think we counted 13 watermelons in our watermelon patch so far, which would that's just gonna be great. It's gonna be some good eating. We're getting impatient with the watermelons now because we're ready. Look, we got some blooms, so even more will be coming along. But the water, and it's coming out of the bed. But watermelons are doing great. And over here, look at these gigantic pumpkin blooms. I think they're just the most gorgeous. There's some over here. Enormous, enormous. And this is all coming out of the bed too. Like this was a little bit late getting started, later than the, can you put your hand, move that leaf away and put your hand by that bloom so people can see how huge that bloom is. That's got ants in it. It's bigger than your hand. And Mr. Homestead has a large hand too. He's not a little guy. That's a huge bloom, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Really big.
Pretty. But the watermelons kind of filled the bed up quicker than the pumpkins did. The pumpkins took a little while, but now that they've taken off, it's like out of control. We can't keep it in the bed any longer. Let me see if we can find some of the pumpkins. Oh, there's one right there. Nice. Couple, 3 or 4. One over there. So these are going to be good.
Look at this.
Yeah. Awesome. Exciting. So blackberries are still blooming, and we've got blackberries growing right there. And Mr. Homestead said we also have squirrels digging. I did learn that snakes will keep birds away, like fake rubber snakes will keep birds away. And I'm planning on putting those way over, you can't see it from here, where our grapes are growing. That last arbor down there, we have grapes growing, and I'm worried about the birds getting the grapes. So I'm going to put in some snakes down there. I wonder if snakes will keep the squirrels out. Our sweet potatoes are finally starting to fill up the bed as well. So,
No, we got a fake owl. We need this rain.
we do. We need those afternoon showers. I was just saying that we needed to.
Yeah, because they just do so much better with God's rain versus us watering it.
They do. There's something different about it. So I wanted to give you a peek at what's going on in the greenhouse that's about to go out into the garden where the cucumbers are getting pulled up. And I wanted to give you a quick sneak peek at our new pantry area. There will be a whole video later coming on that about the whole pantry tour. But for now, I just wanted to give you a quick look. So let me show you our pantry area, and this is what we have so far. This is was my husband's tool room, and because we now have this, I get this room. So it is an air conditioned, air controlled room, so it stays cool in here, which is great. And so here's some of the things that we've put up so far, and over in the corner I have a little bit of gardening things over there. So I'm excited about the transformation of this room, and like I said, there will be a complete pantry tour to follow later, so y'all stay tuned. So that concludes our garden tour for this week, week 10 on the homestead. And be sure to like, subscribe, and touch that notification bell so you get notified every time a new video comes out. It's starting to mist again. It's hard to get out here with electronic equipment when it's trying to rain outside. So it's a little short this week, but we thank you for joining us. And don't forget, do your best and watch God do the rest. Bye-bye.